For decades, Michael Jackson's name has stood as an untouchable monument in the world of music and dance. His movements were not merely choreography, they were cultural earthquakes that reshaped how the world perceived rhythm, performance, and stage presence. From the first time he glided backward in an impossible moonwalk to the sharp snap of his ankles and the gravity-defying lean, Michael Jackson did not just dance, he rewrote the language of motion itself. Yet, as generations pass and music evolves, the question inevitably arises, does the legacy of such an icon truly fade, or does it find new life through artists bold enough to carry its spirit forward? In recent years, that question has been answered in a surprising and electrifying way. The world has begun to notice that the essence of Michael Jackson's legendary dance style has not disappeared. Instead, it has resurfaced, reborn through the magnetic performances of Bruno Mars. What once defined the king of pop is now echoing on modern stages, reimagined through funk-infused grooves, razor-sharp footwork, and an undeniable sense of showmanship that feels hauntingly familiar yet refreshingly new. This revelation has sparked intense discussion among fans, critics, and dance historians alike. Is Bruno Mars simply paying homage to a legend, or is he actively reviving one of the most influential dance legacies in modern history? The answer, as it turns out, lies far deeper than surface-level comparisons. Michael Jackson's rise as a dance icon was not accidental. From a young age, he was immersed in rhythm, absorbing influences from James Brown, Jackie Wilson, Fred Astaire, and countless street dancers whose raw movements spoke louder than words. Jackson studied dance obsessively, dissecting performances frame by frame, perfecting angles, timing, and emotional delivery. When he stepped onto the stage, every movement had intention. His spins were sharp but fluid, his pauses dramatic, his footwork precise yet effortless. Audiences were left stunned not only by what he did, but by how he made it look so natural. What set Michael Jackson apart was his ability to fuse technical mastery with emotion. His dances told stories. A simple step could convey longing, rebellion, or heartbreak. His body became an extension of the music, translating sound into a visual experience that transcended language and culture. This is why, decades later, his performances are still studied, replayed, and revered. Fast forward to the modern era, where digital platforms, viral trends, and rapid musical turnover dominate the industry. In this fast-moving landscape, very few artists manage to stand out as true performers rather than fleeting sensations. Bruno Mars, however, has carved a unique space for himself, not just as a singer and songwriter, but as a consummate entertainer in the purest sense. From the early days of his career, Bruno Mars made it clear that performance mattered. His live shows were not static vocal displays but dynamic spectacles filled with movement, energy, and interaction. As his artistry matured, so did his dance style. Fans began to notice something striking: the footwork, the spins, the shoulder pops, the sharp freezes followed by smooth transitions. There was a rhythm in his body language that felt eerily reminiscent of Michael Jackson. This was not imitation in the shallow sense. Bruno Mars was not copying moves move for move. Instead, he was channeling the philosophy behind Michael Jackson's dance: precision, groove, and storytelling. His performances carried that same sense of controlled explosiveness. Where a single step could ignite an entire arena, the resemblance became impossible to ignore during live performances, award shows, and concert tours. Bruno Mars would glide across the stage with quick, syncopated steps, punctuating beats with sharp hits of his shoulders and hips. His spins were clean and fast, his landings confident and exact. At times, even the way he held his posture, tilted his hat, or paused dramatically before a beat drop felt like a deliberate nod to the king of pop. Yet what truly solidified this connection was Bruno Mars' deep-rooted love for funk and soul, genres that also shaped Michael Jackson's musical DNA. By blending funk rhythms with modern pop sensibilities, Bruno Mars created a soundscape that naturally demanded movement. And not just any movement, but movement that honored the past while pushing forward. Dance experts have pointed out that many of Bruno Mars' most celebrated routines rely on principles that Michael Jackson popularized: isolation of body parts, sharp contrast between stillness and motion, and the illusion of effortlessness. These techniques require immense control and discipline, qualities that Michael Jackson was famous for and that Bruno Mars has clearly mastered. What makes this revival so powerful is its subtlety. Bruno Mars does not announce himself as the successor to Michael Jackson. He does not rely on overt tributes or direct recreations. Instead, he allows the influence to speak through his body language, through the way he commands the stage and connects with the audience. This approach has made the revelation even more compelling, as fans discover the similarities organically, often during live performances where the energy feels raw and unfiltered. Social media has played a significant role in amplifying this realization. Clips comparing Michael Jackson's iconic performances with Bruno Mars' stage moments have gone viral, sparking debates and emotional reactions. Some fans feel nostalgic, seeing echoes of a legend they grew up with. Others, especially younger audiences, are discovering Michael Jackson's influence for the first time through Bruno Mars' performances. Rather than creating division, this connection has built a bridge between generations. Parents share videos with their children, explaining how Michael Jackson once made the world stop with a single move. Young fans, in turn, gain a deeper appreciation for the roots of modern pop performance. In this way, Bruno Mars has become an unintentional educator, guiding audiences back to the foundations of dance excellence. The emotional impact of this revival cannot be overstated. Michael Jackson's legacy has always been larger than music. For many fans, his performances were sources of inspiration, comfort, and identity. Seeing elements of his dance style re-emerge on today's stages feels like a continuation rather than a conclusion. It reassures audiences that true artistry does not vanish, it evolves. Bruno Mars himself has never hidden his admiration for past legends. He has consistently spoken about the importance of honoring the artists who paved the way, emphasizing that innovation is impossible without understanding history. This mindset is evident in his work. Every step, every groove, every moment of showmanship feels informed by a deep respect for those who came before him. Critics who initially dismissed comparisons between the two artists have gradually shifted their perspectives. While acknowledging that no one can replicate Michael Jackson's singular presence, many now recognize that Bruno Mars embodies a similar dedication to performance excellence. He understands that dance is not an accessory to music but a core element of storytelling. This revelation also challenges modern pop culture's tendency to prioritize spectacle over substance. In an era where flashy visuals and digital effects often overshadow raw performance, Bruno Mars' commitment to dance-centered artistry stands out. His reliance on skill, timing, and physical expression echoes Michael Jackson's belief that the human body itself is the most powerful instrument on stage. The influence extends beyond Bruno Mars alone. By reviving this dance philosophy, he has inspired a new wave of performers to take dance seriously once again. Artists are training harder, studying classic routines, and striving for a level of precision that had become increasingly rare. In this sense, the ripple effect of Michael Jackson's legacy continues to expand, carried forward by those willing to put in the work. As audiences reflect on this connection, a deeper truth emerges. Michael Jackson's dance was never meant to be frozen in time. It was designed to move, adapt, and inspire. Bruno Mars' performances prove that greatness does not belong to a single era. When approached with respect and authenticity, it can transcend generations. The revelation behind the fame of Michael Jackson's dance is not merely about imitation or influence. It is about continuity. It is about how art survives by being reinterpreted, not replicated. Through Bruno Mars, the spirit of Michael Jackson's movement finds new expression, reminding the world why those iconic steps mattered in the first place.